Broadcast, it's taking the world by storm. People are cutting the cord to their high cable bills and moving away from streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, and others for something better. Q Broadcast. For just $60 a month, you'll get access to every channel you could ever want, including HBO, Cinemax, and Stars. And the best part? There are no contracts, no hidden fees, and you're free to cancel anytime. With Q Broadcast, you can enjoy streaming live TV, movies, and top series on up to 5 devices at once. Whether you're at home or on the go, Q Broadcast makes sure your entertainment is always at your fingertips. Imagine being able to watch all your favorite channels from anywhere, anytime, without any restrictions. We're talking about thousands of movies, hundreds of TV series, and a huge library of live channels, all in one place. And don't forget video on demand and pay-per-view events. Those are included at no extra cost, so you'll never miss a big event again. Now, take a second and think about your current cable bill. You're probably paying anywhere between $100 and $300 every month, locked into long-term contracts and hit with surprise rate increases. With Q Broadcast, that's a thing of the past. It's just $60 a month. No contracts, no extra fees, no hidden costs, and no price hikes. Why juggle multiple subscriptions like Netflix, Hulu, and cable when Q Broadcast gives you everything you need in one convenient package? People everywhere are switching to Q Broadcast, saving money and getting more content than ever before. So, what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description and sign up for Q Broadcast today. Just $60 a month, no contracts, no hidden fees. It's time to take control of your entertainment and start streaming smarter.
We live in a world where men are told it's harmless. It's just entertainment. But let's stop lying to ourselves. Pornography destroys. It weakens your spirit. It dulls your drive. And it robs you of what real intimacy is supposed to be. Every click is a step away from the man you're supposed to be. We can't call ourselves leaders if we are slaves to a screen.
As someone that is prior service, I know all about discipline. And discipline isn't out there, it's within your mind. Porn rewires your brain, weakens your will, wrecks all of your relationships. It doesn't just stay on a screen, it invades your marriage, your confidence, and your actual purpose. As men, if we don't learn to discipline ourselves, we'll be ruled by our impulses. Now, it is time to stand up and take control before this silent war takes more than you're willing to lose.
Real men don't hide in the shadows of shame. We step up and we protect what's ours. We fight for our wives and kids, our own hearts. Twitter isn't just an app, it's a weapon. It's a tool used to break free and start living like the man that you're meant to be. The battle's here and it starts with you. You can stop living in shame and you can break free today.
New broadcast, it's taking the world by storm. People are cutting the cord to their high cable bills and moving away from streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, and others for something better. Q Broadcast. For just $60 a month, you'll get access to every channel you could ever want, including HBO, Cinemax, and Stars. And the best part? There are no contracts, no hidden fees, and you're free to cancel anytime. With Q Broadcast, you can enjoy streaming live TV, movies, and top series on up to 5 devices at once. Whether you're at home or on the go, Q Broadcast makes sure your entertainment is always at your fingertips. Imagine being able to watch all your favorite channels from anywhere, anytime, without any restrictions. We're talking about thousands of movies, hundreds of TV series, and a huge library of live channels, all in one place. And don't forget video on demand and pay-per-view events. Those are included at no extra cost, so you'll never miss a big event again. Now, take a second and think about your current cable bill. You're probably paying anywhere between $100 and $300 every month, locked into long-term contracts and hit with surprise rate increases. With Q Broadcast, that's a thing of the past. It's just $60 a month. No contracts, no extra fees, no hidden costs, and no price hikes. Why juggle multiple subscriptions like Netflix, Hulu, and cable when Q Broadcast gives you everything you need in one convenient package? People everywhere are switching to Q Broadcast, saving money and getting more content than ever before. So, what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description and sign up for Q Broadcast today. Just $60 a month, no contracts, no hidden fees. It's time to take control of your entertainment and start streaming smarter.
Selling real and Chevy.
Propagating truth in a world of lies. You are listening to the John H. Project.
Trust no one. Trust no one. Trust no one.
You found it. You're here. You're headlong down the runaway train that is the Anomic Age. And I am your host, John H. Check out anomicage.com. Make sure you like all the likes, subscribe to all the subscriptions. PayPal.me/anomicage, Patreon.com/anomicage as well. You guessed it. That's the best way that you can help me support this show. We got the Cash App, Patreon link, Buy Me a Cup of Coffee link, and so much more. Haven't really seen a lot of action on the Buy Me a Cup of Coffee, so I'm kind of intrigued on that one. So if you're into that whole Buy Me a Cup of Coffee thing, indeedly do try to do that. Buy me a cup of coffee. I know times are tough, folks. I know it's that post-drip Christmas. But, every little bit helps. I don't care if it's a dime, a dollar, or $10,000. Whatever the case may be, try to help me out with this show. Keep it afloat and help it to grow. Don't you know? So, indeed, that's what you can do to help me out. iPhone app, Android app, subscribe by email. Link, it's all there at anomicage.com. In case you missed it, we had a great guest, Heidi Hollis, on last week. We'll probably have some guests coming up here in a little bit, too. I'm kind of playing my cards a little bit close to the vest and not really discussing or in any way announcing who's coming on or who's not coming on. We'll just leave it at that. I'm way more selected than I used to be. I'll just say that. I'm trying to take this show in a different direction, different trajectory, different movements. So we're going to have some different guests on. We're going to get into some different things. Paranormal things that go bump in the night, mysteries, legends, history, and all that, and so much more in the Anomic Cage. Because I don't know about you, but I am downright disgusted, nauseated, and just plain old bored with what's going on in the mainstream, or I guess you'll still call it alternative media. Like that old Clash song, I'm so bored with the USA. Well, I sure as bleep am too. It ain't just the USA, it's the whole world. It's total mundo, folks. Total mundo. Pero, particularly the USA, because I live here, folks. I'm bored to tears with it. It's just an ongoing dumpster fire that we're all subjected to. It's trauma-based mind control. It's everything I've covered 8 days a week and twice on Sunday here at the Anomic Age. That's what it is. It's trauma-based mind control, folks. That's what it all is. It's trying to convince you and to gaslight you into believing that there's no hope. There's no way out. We're just in this pudding pop together, going down Niagara Falls at breakneck speeds, and we're just all indubitably screwed. I'm not sure if I disagree. I'm really not. I think that's pretty dead on accurate and 100% factual most of the time. But occasionally, I think otherwise. I think, well, we might be able to turn something around. But the problem is the American people. The problem is the weakness. The problem is we're too fat, too out of shape, too stupid, too well-fed, and too afraid to do anything about it. But that ain't for you to worry about this evening. Because this evening was just going to do some identification. It's like that old stuff you might have done in first grade. Identify. Can you identify the plant? I sure can. Can you identify the animal? Oh, sí, por supuesto, I see. So it goes back to some basics, folks. This transcends first grade. It goes into the upper grades, maybe even the logic and rhetoric. What we're getting into right now, folks, is identifying things. And that's what cracks me up, because we've seen this so much in the last 10 years. Oh, you're racist, you're sexist, you're homophobic and xenophobic and downright humanphobic. When in the end, it's really just pattern identification. It's can you identify a pattern, folks? So we'll cover the most basic of levels here. Don't worry, I'm going to get into some news bits at the very end. I'm going to switch things up this time. I'm going to go news at the end and información in the beginning. So you got to go back to some basic things here. Those basic premise from first grade. Can you identify the thing that is soft versus the duro, the hard? I think so. And we'll go into some upper grades, and we'll cover some old Carl Linnaeus. Oh, yeah, one of my favorite folks to talk about in the death world, in the Netherlands. Good old Carl Linnaeus, bringing us the fan favorites of binomial nomenclature, folks. That'd be the two naming system for all living things on the planet. Binomial nomenclature. Don't get scared. We ain't going to go crazy science on you. We're just going to cover some basics. Can you identify a plant from an animal? Well, what are some differences, John? Well, you could look at the obvious stuff. You know, the chlorophyll, dare I say the borophyll? Yeah, the ability to use sunlight, photosynthetic means for energy production versus the consumption of the animalia. They got to ingest the vitamins, the minerals, the nutrients, the proteína también. So that's some obvious ones, folks. But I don't think people are very apt to identify the plants because you don't seem to be able to pull it off, folks. The plants from the animals from the plants. And I swear to you, man, if you look at the cacophony of creepy out there that is being shoveled in your face, and you can't, what is that smell? Is it, oh, it's poo-poo. Yeah, it's being shoveled in your face, and it's being portrayed, passed off, and otherwise directed to stand as the conservatives, the Christians, the Republicans, At this juncture, I don't see a bleep of a lot of difference between any of the three. It's like the weird, you got 3 cups and you just keep moving the ping pong balls around. Yeah, I don't really see a bleep of a lot of difference. I really don't. It's all just some big mixed mash, monster mash of garbage, folks. It really is. I don't know what to think of any of it except that it all stinks. It really all stinks. Because you got the so-called conservatives out there shoving manure as fast as they can to get us into war with Iran and anybody that's against Israel. Can't be against Israel. Oh, my, that makes you a non-Christian. What? I thought that was just following Jesus Christ, the one and only true Lord. I must be mistaken. And then you've got conservatives out there peddling and paddling in the creek of these communists under the guise of Democrats. And Lord only knows what a conservative even means anymore. I don't know. I couldn't even begin to tell you, because just as the obfuscation of all history, the obfuscation of all truth has just been corrupted. We've seen that with the word conservative, just as we saw with the word liberal. Liberal used to mean someone like Thomas Jefferson. Now it seems to be someone that's more on the kin of a tranny Karl Marx. It's so disgusting. So that's really what we are seeing today, 2025, year of our Lord. But I'm going to try to sift through some of the doo-doo and see what we can actually come up with on the other side. So I'll throw this one on the screen for you because it's just emblematic of what I've been saying over and over again. Somebody's probably tired of hearing this. If so, you know where you can go. Oh yeah, to and fro to another program. You must. But the obvious thrust of what we got to talk about here is just that. This guy. No, not that guy. Woohoo, that guy. You remember him, don't you? Of course you do, because I've covered him on the show at nauseum. Albert Pike. Known for many things. 33rd Degree, you know that's him. Morals and Dogma, CC, es verdad, clase. And also from this little quote right here. Whenever people need a hero. Yeah, like a hero from that old 80s song. No. A hero. We shall supply him. See, that was the real deal Holyfield in the 1800s. Now they will also supply her. They will supply it. They will supply whatever you want to identify as. That's the deal, folks. That's the deal. Whenever people need a hero, one will be provided for them. And I can't help but cover this. We're here near MLK Day. And I swear there's still people falling for that charade, and pant load of fecal particulates. There's still people falling for it, man. And I know why. I understand. Yo entiendo. It's because you've been fed the bull jive. K through 12 indoctrination, college, university weaponization. You just go along with a pablum. You've got to. After all, if you don't, people might not like you. Ooh. So scary. So sad. We'll cover that in a little bit. The not liking you part. But yeah, that's the real crux of it, folks. I understand why people don't know this information. I'm not coming at you through some demigod ivory tower. You must listen to me because no, I'm not coming at you like that at all, folks. I get it. I've been there, folks. I understand not knowing the information and falling for the chicanery. It makes sense to me. I get it now. Because once you start peeling back layers of the onion and you start crying because it's all such a mess, at the other end, you'll realize, oh, I feel better now. I've figured out, not everything, but at least a few things. I can put a few dots on the board. I can start connecting them with some string and maybe some paste and put some pictures up there and everything. I can start figuring things out. So Albert Pike was telling you this in the 1800s. Morals and dogma, kind of a big deal if you're inclined to be informed about what's actually going on. And a lot of people are saying, yo, John, you've talked about this before, and I'll delve a little bit deeper into the pool today because we got to talk about some of these other elements as well. Everyone should be familiar with COINTELPRO from the 1960s and on. But you should also know the CIA version because it's always a very intentional wax on, wax off. It's the CIA, it's the FBI, it's the other alphabet soup agencies, it's the media, it's the production companies, it's the movie houses, it's the television shows, it's everything wherever you go. They want you to be inundated with the gaslighting, inundated with this figure that we've chosen for you is a demigod. It goes back to idolatry again. I swear, folks, I'm reading 1 Corinthians right now with my daughter every night, and it just keeps coming up again and again and again. It's like, what in the devil? Are these like waves at the beach? No, it's idolatry again. That's what it boils down to. It's idolizing someone, even thyself, above Christ. That's the end of the road here. I just can't say it any other way. I mean, Boys to Men could probably say it a little bit better for you, but it's the end of the road. That's what's up, folks. So you've got the FBI with COINTELPRO, and then you've got the CIA with things like Operation Chaos. And I got a couple more on the screen here. I can show them to you if you want. Project Resistance, Project Merrimack, Project 2, Project Chaos. All of these were various CIA operations run domestically to identify people that were anti-Vietnam. Because keep in mind, folks, the war movement was very clearly the military-industrial complex that Eisenhower warned about in his farewell address before Kennedy took over. Kennedy was not down with kissing the wall. He was not down with Vietnam. He wasn't down with the bull jive, Federal Reserve, CIA, the whole 9 yards. He had to go, folks. He had to go. We get LBJ, we get neck deep and then throat deep into Vietnam for 10 plus years until we finally pull out of that chicanery fest of turds. But the deal was, in the inception, while the general public was really getting kind of their second coat of popular culture, because this wasn't something that even really existed. Sure, you could look at the Flappers and the Roaring Twenties and say, okay, well, that was a little bit, it was pop culture in its burgeoning state. But really, it was that post-World War II. It was the 1950s with the Fonzie era, yeah, that sort of stuff. The classic of classic rock. That was the fledgling, like infant, we've got a popular culture. We've got like the first generation that doesn't get out of high school, get married, and get into a job and start having a family. With the 1960s, we saw the electric Kool-Aid acid test. We saw the proliferation of pop culture vis-a-vis pop stars. You could even argue that JFK was a pop president a little bit. He had so much youth behind him. We haven't seen that since, of course, Barack Hussein Obama, aka Barry Soetoro, about 20 years ago. So that's kind of self-evident. But what you really saw in the 1960s is the creation of a counterculture with Project Chaos, Merrimack, COINTELPRO, this sort of stuff. The David McGowan book, we've touched on this. I'm sure everyone's familiar with it. The popularization of the countercultural movement out of the government. I mean, look no further than Jim Morrison of the Doors, the Mamas and the Papas. I mean, that whole quote-unquote counterculture was replete with deep state familial connections. This is not happenstance. This is not coincidence. How does that old saying go? Once is happenstance, twice is coincidence, three times is enemy action. This is three times a lady, folks. 3 times a lady, and that lady is Lady Deep State. All over the 1960s. All those people. I mean, Timothy Leary, electric Kool-Aid acid test, that was giving drugs on college campuses. That was creating a counterculture. But the first wave of the anti-war movement was clean cut, folks. It looked like they jumped out of the 1950s. That's what you never hear. You never see nor hear these folks as anti-war protesters. What you see is a sex, drugs, rock and roll, flowers in her hair. Everybody's naked. Everybody looks like trash, stinks like, and so much more. That's what you see as the popularized image of the counterculture of the 1960s. hand in hand with the Tavistock Institute across the pond. I mean, gracious goodness sakes alive. Did you not notice the British invasion was just Tavistock from the floor up, folks? Come on. Beatles, Rolling Stones, anything you'd call a legacy act from the era was Tavistock if it was across the pond. And the funny is they look at the Monkees as like this contrived mess. And the Monkees were as real as everybody else in that era, folks. They just came out and admitted it on TV and said, oh, this is a show. Okay. I digress. I'm just trying to show you some parallels here. And if you look at MLK, everybody's darling of the day, MLK was an op. He was a plant, folks. He was a plant. I mean, I even posted this photographic evidence, footage even. I don't think there's footage, but this is just common knowledge that MLK was meeting with these communist organizations, folks. He had communist ties, plagiarized left, right, and center. His speeches and everything else was plagiarized, folks. Not all, but most. This is also not conjecture. This is evidential. Connections to all kinds of ladies of the evening. Yeah, that was him too, folks. And I wish to God I could talk to Big Reed sometime, even on this show or even off the record, man. Big Reed, if you're out there listening, thank you, sir, for exposing these things so often. Ain't the first time I heard it, but I love your take on it. Big Reed's on Instagram. I seen him recently on Facebook. Shout out to Big Reed in Philadelphia. He'll never know who I am nor see this, but thanks for at least covering the obvious, folks. MLK was a plant. So you had two sides of the coin. You had the duality. You had the Malcolm X and the MLK, both of which were killed by the deep state. So Malcolm X was saying, yo, screw all this integration. We need to get our own thing. We need to have our own strong black culture, which existed. Strong black businesses, strong black schools, strong black entrepreneurs, the whole nine, folks. That existed. But it flew into direct contrast to the obvious government plan of MLK, which was saying, just turn the other cheek, let's all integrate, because nothing screams strength in the black community like being pushed into the white community. And I mean, it's just, I'm not saying that segregation is good by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just saying any culture would want a strong culture for itself. I mean, that's why you see Chinatown. That's why you see Little Italy. I mean, that's why you see Little Havana and Calle Ocho in Florida. Strong communities that are ethnically connected and bound. For God's sake, I'm not down with it, but that's what you see with the Somalians taking over the entire blipping state of Minnesota right now. Nobody in any of those aforementioned communities is saying, hey, we just want to integrate and be happy and kumbaya. No, they're saying, screw you guys. We've got our own area. We're doing our own thing. If you guys want to play, great. If not, it's cool. But all that was done emblematic to weaken the black culture. And then you flow the drugs in. You pull in the LBJ Great Society. Let's give everybody welfare, which was nothing more than an extension of the Great Roosevelt Plan 30 years before. And I say great. I hope you're picking up on the sarcasm. And then we got Nixon's war on drugs. And before you know it, we got a split up household. We got women in the black community having children just so they can get a check. We got the black fathers not even there. If they are, they're in jail. And the whole 9 yards just escalates and rolls on down the hill till we are here today. Thanks to plants, folks. Plants, plants, plants. My gracious goodness sakes alive. The 1960s is nothing more than a flipping greenhouse, folks. And then the church committee hearings made everybody think, oh, it went away. Oh, church committee hearings, they exposed COINTELPRO. Oh, my goodness, they exposed the Mockingbird Press. And the stupid American people just thought it went away. It's beyond belief, folks. People can't identify the plants on the chessboard right now. Starting with who? DJT. My gracious. Anybody that believes anything about the legitimacy of this president at this time has got to have your head so far up your... Oh, my gracious. I don't know what to do for you. I just don't. Let's put the screen back up here. Let's put this back up here. We got so many people to run down. Oh my gosh, folks. So your feed was abuzz with this guy. I don't even care to show this, but I will just, I don't know, man. I'll show it. What the bleep? We'll show it. Put it on the screen. This is Jake Lang. He decides to go in the midst of the B to the S in Minnesota because that'll be a good idea. I mean, there's nothing but communist trash out there running amok all over the streets. The police have just said, yeah, and there's no National Guard. There's no nothing. Oh, but Trump's come to save you. Don't worry. He's got this Alaskan snow team on high alert, just waiting for the word. What a crock of nothing, folks. Anyway, obvious plant Jake Lang goes out there. He was out there a couple weeks ago spewing out all this mess that, you know, anybody on the left's going to say, it's racist, it's racist. And they start tearing in their imported beer while they're driving their Subaru, listening to some crap rock. But anyway, so he starts viewing this obvious vitriol that's going to get everybody on the left's panties in a wad a couple weeks ago. And, you know, draws all the ire of the left. Ooh, and then all the joke level right. Ooh, he's not so good either. And then finally he's back out on the street only to get smacked in the face. Oh my gosh. I'm not playing the audio on this one. It's all right. So we got Jake Lang out there, but don't worry. If you read the headlines, it shows and says, oh, Jake Lang, he was saved by a black guy and some black women. They're the ones that saved old Jakey Lang's rear, I guess, from getting really hurt. I don't know. Allegedly got hit in the head. I mean, it looks legit. I don't know, man. I don't believe jack squat anymore. But that's Jake Lang. And keep in mind, this is Jake Lang, the wall kisser. This is Jake Lang, the Israel first guy, who also simultaneously is somehow now ultra right. Yeah. Get the bleep out of it. He's right up there with Patriot Front. He's probably in Patriot Front. He's probably out there with Patriot Front and the rest of the Club Fed boys in their khakis, their high and tights, and their, you know, usual suspects mess. So Jake Lang plants prima facie. If you hadn't picked up on these plants, I don't know what you're blipping doing. I don't know how you're not picking up on the obvious plants in the room. I mean, I did a show a couple weeks ago called The Controlled Bunch. You know, did a great artwork play on the Brady Bunch where I had, 9 different people that were obvious plants. And we're still seeing the plants like we're in a flipping greenhouse, folks. I mean, gracious goodness, these people got more chlorophyll than an oak tree out there. It's ridiculous. But yeah, we got Jake Lang out there. Gracious goodness sakes alive. Just plant fiesta. And I don't even know what to say about this one. It's this one. This next clip, I'm sure you've all seen this in your feed. It's so sad. It's so sad. Oh my gosh. You got to you look at the society that we're in right now and the kind of just chump sucker moron, lowbrow, just bottom feeder trash that they're floating out there as being conservative and right. Oh, they're alt-right. Oh, even better. It's so sad. It's so sad, man. Good gracious, man. It's like when I go into Walmart, I almost have to sit and pray quietly for a minute before I can even cover some of these clips because it's so comical. It's so blipping comical. Holy shnikes. Let's play this one, I guess. I pulled the audio from this one too. You're not missing anything. You're missing, here's the audio you're going to miss. I'll give it to you. You're missing Ye. Oh, that's his new name. It's Ye. The Ye song, Heil Hitler, is playing in the background at some alleged club. Who even knows, man? Yay, the dude I married to at one time, having children with another obvious plant from the Hollywood world. I mean, yay, the same guy admitting like homosexual acts with his cousin for years. This is the guy's music playing in the background while we have a room full of plants just being retarded. Here, I'll just shut up. I can't even keep talking about it. It's going to be stupid. Here we go. Let's play this one. No audio needed. My goodness. Oh my gosh, dude. Please, Lord, take us from this nightmare. Yeah, this is it, folks. This is what we're seeing here. This is the right. This is the alternative right. This is the non-plants, right? These are the real go-getters. These are the non-plant people, allegedly. This is the non-plant people. Gracious goodness. This is like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, where the dude realizes that like everybody's a plant. So to be real with you, I didn't even know some of these clowns' names. I looked them up because this was a kind of lame-o mess that was in my feed. And I knew Nick Fuentes. Okay, we got that Jack person. Let me see. I got to put these other people on there because I had to write these guys down. So you had Nick Fuentes on there. You had Andrew Tate. Okay, I knew him. Yeah, Andrew Tate. His brother up there. Both of these cats allegedly charged with some sort of prostitution ring and traffic. Oh, no, John, that's just the deep state going after him. Okay, I guess. But, like, out of their own mouths, they're bragging about it. So, at no point in my lifetime are you ever going to hear me bragging about running a prostitution ring and getting chicks on some sort of, half-bleeped OnlyFans. Like, none of that is Christian, is emblematic of anything even remotely moral compass. That's just trash, folks. But anyway, I'm digressing here. You got some dude named Sneeko. Never heard of this dude, and I don't want to. You got Myron Gaines up there. This is another cat that allegedly changed his name or whatever else. He was allegedly, wasn't he FBI? I think he said he was FBI. Who's not in there anymore? Okay, great, Myron, I guess. So you get up here and you sow the seeds of division with the big words and all this mess. It's like, okay. But the height of sorriness here is, I can't even say this one right. Clavicrub or something. What's this cat's name, man? Clavicular. I think that's it. Clavicular. So allegedly you got a grown man going by, I believe it's pronounced clavicular. He's going by the moniker of a bone in the body. And I didn't even show you. There was other pictures that were just more gay than this one, where you had like, I guess, a sleepover at one of these cats' houses. Everybody came back from the club and they all did a big male sleepover. Oh my gosh, man. What in the world are we living in? This is the alternative. This is the right conservative. This is the new breed. Some cat named Clavicular, named after a bone, but he's supposed to be straight. Nick Fuentes, I ain't hating on the man for being a virgin, but I mean, gracious goodness. It looks an awful lot like you're with the other team to me. I mean, call me crazy. I'm not saying I'm the most discerning man on earth, but I'm feeling some vibes there that just don't seem real. It just seems like some horse beat. I mean, you had the pictures. I'm not even going to put them all up on there, man. There was pictures of the slumber party after the club. They were all clowning Nick for not making any moves on the girl. They obviously an attractive young lady next to Nick at some point, probably a plant too or a prostitute. Who the flip knows? I'm just like, is this real life? This is really what we're putting out there at this point in the game. 2025, year of our Lord, and this is what we got. This is the right. I'm sorry. This is like the new right, because we're all supposed to talk down to and blame the boomers while championing millennials like Sneeko, Clavicular, Myron Gaines, Andrew Tate. Yeah, the woman hater Tate. Yeah, I forgot that one. Tate, after getting his butt beat in a humiliation ritual a couple weeks ago, coming out talking about how nobody should get married. And I think old Nick the Freak is talking the same bull jive. I guess when Nick's not eating with Transformers and furries, he's talking about how bad it is to get married. My goodness. Oh, I'm thankful I'm married. I don't want to be out in this mess. Good grief. Are you kidding me? Clavicular. I didn't even know what this is about. I don't want to know. My God. But that's what I posted. I was like, man, whatever this is, I'm out. Like, I am not part of this. Please don't put me in that camp. Don't put me in the alt-right, the conservative, the Republican, whatever this bull jive is. Don't put me in that mess. No way, Jose. Thank you. I'm not involved in that jive, dude. We've all been in situations before where it's like, this ain't right. I got to get out of here. Like something, this is going to be some bad stuff going on in a minute. That's where I'm at. Don't put me in this camp, please. Just keep me away from that camp. If that camp knocked on the door right now, I would not go to the door, folks. I'm serious, man. People think, oh, man, you need to get involved in this bull job. Look at all the hits you could get. I bet you could get some of that little hat money like Nick got. No, folks, I don't want that money. No, thank you. I'm not making out with the wall. I don't want Nick coming over. I don't want Myron coming by. No, man. If that foursome came to the crib right now and, hey, John, no thanks. I'm going to pretend as a Jehovah's Witness at the door. I am not any part of that bull jive, folks. Anyway, I say all that to say this. Plants, folks. My goodness, plants. My goodness, I don't have to be a botanist to identify plants. My God. It's downright disgusting out there, folks. People that can't see this bull jive for what it is, I mean, come on. Come on. Ray Charles could identify the plants in the room at dysfunction. Ray Charles would be over there shooting up heroin, playing a piano, saying, no thanks, I'm out. I might be a little crazy, but I'm going with the women, is what Ray Charles would be saying. Whew. This is just downright silly. Anyway, I had to laugh. And what made it even more funny to me is I saw this clown on, let me see. This clown, this is, the feed. And it's probably my own fault for, I don't know, man. Anyway, I saw Alex Jones had Nick Shirley on. Good night, nurse. We got a plant identifying and interviewing another plant. My heavens to Murgatroyd. Nick Shirley. This is the guy. He was on the YouTube a little while ago. Yeah, the Jehovah's Witness would be more interesting to talk to than those chaps. You got that right, buddy. You can say that again. Thank you. But anyway, Nick Shirley was on there with AJ. I guess it was today. I don't know. But I just thought to myself, good grief. Nick Shirley, huh? This is clearly another plant. Nick Shirley had his own little YouTube jive for a little bit. I guess it was about as successful as my channel. I guess they probably didn't take his channel off and then shadow ban the channel. So, I mean, I probably got like 3 followers on there. I don't even care. At least I ain't Nick Shirley, okay? Nick Shirley went on his Mormon mission. Comes back on the YouTube, and my goodness gracious, he's a star. Somehow he got some of that same money, I guess, as these lovely individuals we just talked about. I don't know. I'm just saying Nick Shirley left YouTube with nothing, went on his Mormon mission, came back, and booyah! Nick Shirley's at the top of the charts, baby. He is somehow now the guy that he was the only guy. Like nobody else figured this out. That there was some shenanigans going on in Minnesota, and lo and behold, this might be a real stretch for some of you. Lo and behold, it was the Somali Muslims and the communist trash, old balls there in Minnesota that were running some bull jive with some fraudulent daycares. And lo and behold, Nick Shirley just pops up out of the briar patch, and oh my gracious, he's on now with AJ. I guess he's going to be just as cool as it's so hard to do this show without just cracking. He's going to be just as cool as Clavicular and Myron. He's probably going to have Nick Fuentes kind of money in a minute. Anyway, so the funny of all funnies is you got Nick Shirley. You got to appreciate the names of some of these cats, because the names, oh my gosh, man. You got to like just plant is all I can say. Like Nick Shirley, okay. It's like the Renee Good from the flipping op they ran in Minnesota last week. So you got Nick Shirley, you got Renee Good, and anyway, you got AJ up there interviewing old Shirley. And the funny of all funnies, this cat might have been a flipping a plant too, but you had Candace up there with Mitch Snow. I don't even know what to say about this cat either. I don't know. But the funny of all funnies is you got Plant AJ up there interviewing Shirley, and out of the same side of his mouth criticizing Candace for Mitch Snow. I mean, good. Again, folks, take a walk through the forest. Identify those plant characteristics. And you know what else is even more funny? I believe every one of them clowns that I mentioned at the club, and then after the club, they were at their at their little sleepover. All those people have been on AJ's show. I don't even know what to say anymore. I just don't know what to say. It just seems eventually you've got to go, well, things just don't seem right. I tried to be down with the AJ program for many years, and I was really like, my last thing was like, man, this is just some bull job. You cannot sit there and tell me that there's a little to no Israeli connection with like all this cacophony of turds, this sea of stuff that's going on. But AJ can. So right away, like when you can't just call balls and strikes, as he says, you got to be like, okay, well, if you're just calling balls and strikes, you're the worst umpire of all time. I mean, I just ain't buying a bull jive anymore, man. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so we went over Jake there. He's Plant A for sure. We covered this laundry list of strapping young lads that are the future of conservatism. Those guys. What do we got time-wise? Okay, we got time. Thank you. Excuse me for drinking in the mic there. We got time to cover some of these other boobs. And I had to throw these jokers out there because the feed was abuzz with all this. I'm going to transition now, not in the cutting things off way. No, not that. But I'm going to transition now from our plant talk, from our botanical bonanza. I mean, you could go back to my show where I covered the controlled bunch, because I covered all of them. I mean, from Talmud Tatum to Tommy Robbins, gracious goodness, Laura Loomer. I mean, just the list of plants is very self-evident. So if you need more plant food, look back at that show. I covered a lot more. I just wanted to cover some of the obvious ones today, but I'll transition without cutting off any appendages into this next gem, where the feed was just a rise with all this over the last 72 hours, where you're in the no longer part of the United States, Minnesota, which is nothing more than a Somali bleep hole controlled by communists and Muslims, but I digress. You went through that whole rigmarole where you had the Jake Lang thing, you had the Renee Good op being run to rile everyone up, get everybody, oh, it's right versus left, it's my team versus your team, woo. You know, the usual buffet of, buffoonery. So then you had the feeds were just, oh my, there's a guy with a gun out there, oh my, oh good gracious. Okay. And I was shocked to see other people have my take on it, which was really surprising because when I first saw this, the feed was just a flutter with everybody, I guess, right of Mao just chastising this. Oh my gosh, we've got to do something. There's a guy with a gun out there. And I went, hey, wait a minute. Time out for the Constitution here. Remember that old Second Amendment thing? Remember that whole shall not be infringed thing? That's the crux of what I assumed, most people of the right, of the conservative ilk would fall on. But they were like, oh my God, somebody with a gun. And I'm like, yo, man, I can guarantee you with 1,000% certainty, if I sat down with this dude, we would disagree on virtually everything. Okay? I'm thinking probably disagree on virtually everything. But here's the deal. People that are supposedly right and conservative, the Second Amendment's supposedly for everyone. The shall not be infringed part is just the pretty important part of the whole thing, I would think. And so, in my humble opinion, anything that is, again, the obvious Constitution and Bill of Rights is null and void and shouldn't be followed. So I know, don't get me wrong, I know that taxes are unconstitutional. I feel you. And I also know that every single communist bleep hole that has these draconian gun laws, all unconstitutional, whether you're in D.C., L.A., Chicago, New York, rattle them all down, I know. It's unconstitutional, beat to the S. It is. So, I'm just thinking, this dude, he's doing the Second Amendment thing. I don't agree with him. He's probably, I don't know, that guy. Could be a great guy. I have no clue, man. I'm just saying, the Second Amendment is the Second Amendment for everybody. And we already know the 68 Gun Control Act was basically a direct carbon copy of the Nazi Enabling Act saying you couldn't have guns, blah, blah, blah. We all got that. You should. So, I tend to be more on the line of, hey, he's exercising his right, and a right not exercised is a right lost. So I would suggest and otherwise implore other people to actually exercise their rights. That's my take on the whole thing. So you got that guy out there holding his gun. All right, cool, I guess. And then you got this guy. This was another boob from Minnesota. I'm not going to try to paraphrase this guy. He was basically saying, I'm going to protect my neighborhood from ICE, and I got my rights, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So he's out there with his armor light special, and he's going to protect his neighborhood from ICE. And I'm like, all right, I guess, I don't really have a problem with that either. I just don't. It's Second Amendment Day for everybody. It should be. So, if these clowns go out there and start firing off rounds at people, okay, well, then you stop them from doing that. Okay? It's just that simple. So, the same should be good for the goose is good for the gander. That's just my take on the whole thing. We either got a Second Amendment or we don't. We don't pick and choose and say, oh, well, this guy looks like a commie scumbag and he's a Muslim for... Okay, I got it. Okay. If this guy is a citizen of the United States, he's protected under the Constitution, Bill of Rights. So let him do what he do. That's what I'm thinking on it. That being said, it's that proverbial keep dangling the carrot. Oh, Trump's going to send all these people from Alaska. Okay, I believe when I see it. And just like I mentioned to everybody online, I'll believe it when I see it, yes. But I'll also believe that it has teeth when they actually have live rounds in their weapons. That's the only way this matters. So if you don't have police and or National Guard / military on the streets with live rounds and using those rounds, it's just a who gives a bleep. It's like the rules of engagement in Vietnam or something. Oh, we've got all these troops and military there. Okay, well, can they actually act? Or are they just going to sit around with their hands in their pockets and not violate rules of engagement? Or like we've seen on the border and in virtually every other communist bleep hole, when we see some quote-unquote op, a.k.a. an uprising, we don't have troops on the street, nor police or military or National Guard or anything else with the ammo to use, I suppose, nor the right to use them, I guess. What's the point, folks? If we're just going to play Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood and have a bunch of people dressed for the role, but not playing the role, what's the blipping point, folks? That's just stupid. Christ's sakes, get Sylvester Stallone out there and have him dress up like Rambo and walk around, with blank rounds, like he's in Rambo part 7 or whatever the hell it is. I mean, it's just, what's the point? You're either going to do something or you're not. If you're not, then just stay the bleep home. And don't pretend to be the paper tiger that we have been seeing for so long. And everybody, I'm sure everybody's like, oh, we don't want another Renee Good. Okay, I guess. I don't know, man. Just, what's the point after a while? What is the point? All right, so we've gone over the gun guys in Minnesota. Somewhere Paul Bunyan's rolling over in his huge grave with his ox blue next to him. My goodness. It's just downright sad. All right, we got to get into some more silliness, because just when you think it's safe to live in an alleged conservative state, no, you're mistaken, because you're missing who's running the states, because it's not who you think's running the states. Okay, here we go. Let's look at this one. I'm not even gonna play much of this one. All right, I'll just shut my mouth and let it play for a little bit. All right, I'm sorry. I know there's no volume on this one. I should have been narrating before. I apologize. So what we got going on here is a lady in Florida, in Miami. I'm sorry, I should have been narrating this one. A lady in Florida, she's in Miami there. She's apparently posted something that the mayor doesn't like. Oh, my gracious goodness sakes alive. Yeah, I know. I called it no audio. I'm sorry, man. I thought it had audio, and then I just didn't. But what we got there is a lady in Florida, and she posted something naughty, allegedly. I mean, she was criticizing some of our greatest allies. Mercy. She was criticizing, stuff being done across the pond in the name of Los Estados Unidos, I guess. And the policia don't like that in Florida. So let me give you a rundown on who the bleep is who. So you got Randy Fine in Florida. Randy Fine, I believe he is known as the Jewish Hammer. Is that what he's calling himself these days? Hasidic Hammer, maybe that's it. Anyway, you can look up these cool names for yourself, because when you're a robust individual like Mr. Fine, I guess you get to call yourself whatever you want to, especially when you've got carte blanche protection from everything. I mean, good grief. Talk about a protected class. So you got Congressman Fine there, the Hasidic Hammer. Oh, my goodness. And then you got Stephen Maynard, Meiner. He is the mayor of this lovely spot in Florida, Miami. And you're going to pick up on what I'm putting down, I believe, because you're going to see some similarities here between all these people. I'm pretty sure you're going to know what I'm talking about. I mean, clearly these people are all Methodist. They're all Buddhist. They're all followers of the faith of Islam, obviously. So you got Stephen Meiner. He's the mayor. And you got old Hasidic Hammer Fine there in Florida. And what else we got? We got Police Chief Wayne Jones. He is a black man, and he is probably not of the same ilk as the aforementioned two. So, either way, that's kind of giving you the players on the field. So you got Wayne Jones. He's the police chief. He's backing this bull jive 100%. Obviously, he would, because he don't want to get fired. We got Stephen there. He's the mayor of Miami, Florida. He's backing this bull jive because allegedly this lady that the policia rolled it up on come into her house and do the knocky knock. Hey, we're here to check for your papers and effects, even though, you should have your First Amendment rights and you should have the right to persons, papers, and effects. All that should be true, but not here in America, nay. What were you thinking? So anyway, under the guise of Meir there, old Stephen, He sent the policia out because apparently this lady said something negative about old Stephen, saying something about how old Stephen was really not for the people of Florida, but maybe he was for some other people, maybe even across the pond, maybe even this tiny little New Hampshire-sized country in the Middle East. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's why. This lady got a knock at the door. She got visited by the police, and they rolled up in on her and are showing her Facebook posts. This is what we live in, people. They're showing the Facebook post to this lady, and at least she's smart enough to be like, yo, I'm not talking to y'all without a legal representative here. I don't know what you're talking about with the Facebook deal. And both the Wayne Jones police chief and, of course, the Stephen mayor there, all of them are getting behind this horse as if this is somehow inciting violence and instigating, fomenting, or otherwise riling people up to be anti-Belgium? No? Shoot. Anti-Costa Rica? Jeez, that's not it. What is it? Anti-Yugoslavia? No. Oh. They're saying that it's stoking and fomenting the fires of anti-Semitism and people might be anti-Israel. Damn and mercy. And you can't have that when you got the Hasidic hammer there, Randy Fine. You got Stephen there as the mayor. You can't be having that in Florida, folks. You can't be having that in the free nation that we are in today. Nay. I mean, after all, we've already had Trump coming out after getting some funding from Adelson saying, if you say something negative about a Christ ally, we're coming for you. You had Pam Bondi repeating the same bull jive over and over again. And you had, you had Lauren Rentz a couple weeks back. I played this clip on the show. She is the Stop Anti-Semitism head here, I guess, in America. And she was out, at the mic and taking the helm of saying, we're coming after you. She's thanking Google. She's thanking the SEOs because now we can find you if you say something bad about a greatest ally. The greatest threat to Western civilization is anti-Semitism. That's the deal, folks. That's the deal. I can't believe you didn't know that. Can't believe you thought that this was just a ruse by Randy Fine and Steve there in Miami trying to go after this lady for free speech. That's the sick part of it all, folks. So yeah, you had Lori Renz a couple weeks back saying, yo, we're coming for you. We got Google and SEO. And don't forget Palantir too, because after all, we got Trump giving all that Palantir money to Palantir. You got Peter Thiel. You got, the strange bedfellows of the homosexual Peter Thiel and his ties into the J.D. Vance or whatever he was calling himself at the time when he was working for Palantir too. Are you starting to connect some dots here, folks? Because good grief, you should. Palantir, Peter Thiel, J.D. Vance, allegedly his name, DJT. All this is starting to connect, isn't it? Because these ridiculous actions are something you might have seen and did see in jolly old England a couple weeks ago, months ago, and even a couple years ago. This is the kind of bull job that people are prosecuted for in England. Their speech. And people just whistle past the graveyard and say, oh, well, that's England. Screw them. We separated from them decades ago, centuries even, allegedly. But then when it comes knocking on your front door, what you going to do, folks? That's what it boils down to. I would probably hazard a guess that I would disagree with this lady that they're hassling probably on a lot of things too. But I'll never disagree with her on freedom of speech. Bill of Rights, Constitution? Probably not. Because I don't think you should be getting a knock at your front door from the policia just because you said something people didn't like online. The very nature of free speech is to protect the speech that is not liked, the speech that is not palatable, the speech that does not make everybody warm and fuzzy inside. Everybody loved this free speech. Says, I love America, apple pie, baseball. You look so lovely in that dress. Oh, you're great and handsome. Yeah, you love that speech. You don't like the speech that's actually critical of the bull job that's going on 8 days a week and twice on Sunday here. That's the speech that people get a little bit, oh, I don't know, that hurts somebody's feelings. And that's the speech that has to be protected, folks. That's the speech. But I guess if you're in the red state of Florida, not so much. Because you never know. You might have said something naughty online, and then you got Steve or even the Jewish Hammer there coming down on you. Because after all, if you say anything bad, I mean, Miss Rin's already laid it out for you. She's coming for you. She's going to make sure your whole life is ruined. You won't be able to get a job. You won't be able to buy or sell. You won't. Oh my, that sounds very revelation-ish. Miss Rin's? I don't know if that's cool or not. Guess it doesn't matter if it's cool though, because that's the world we live in. You know, like that old Genesis song, this is the world we live in. These are the hands we're given, folks. It's so wild. That old Genesis song from the 80s, Land of Confusion. And it was a making a mocking of Reagan at the time. But it seems very emblematic of where we are today. So, identifying plants, folks. You need to be able to identify the plants. You need to be able to identify the people that are just getting a check, going along to get along, and saying what you need to hear. Sometimes, what you want to hear, I should say. Because there's a big difference in what you need to hear and what you want to hear. Everybody wants the compliments. Everybody wants, good job, attaboy, you did a great job. What you don't want to hear is, hey, you did a good job, but this part over here kind of sucked. You know, like the part we left the audio out of the video, John. That kind of sucked. I feel you. I understand. I'm sorry. I apologize. People love to hear the good stuff. They just don't want to hear the bad stuff too. You got to take the good with the bad. That's the only way you grow. Nobody's batting 1,000. Nobody's perfect that's walking this earth right now. There's only that one guy. He's not walking around right now. So everybody else can use a trimming sometimes. That's just the cold hard facts. Nobody's going to be perfect at everything. So, you know, one thing you need to get better at is the plant identification. Get you one of those books. Get you one of those identifying edible wild plants if you had to. Figure these things out. Because I see so many people out there like reposting this bull job, like, oh, that a boy, I love Myron Game. He did some good stuff. Okay. Everybody that I just mentioned, you could probably say they did some pretty good stuff here, there, somewhere. But then they derailed, folks. Then they vastly derailed. And that's how they get the pablum to go down, folks. How's that old saying go? What's that stupid, I can't even think of the dang movie. Is it Mary Poppins? A spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down? Or am I thinking of something else? I don't know. It's one of those movies that I really don't like. But I remember seeing it as a kid. A spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. That's the point, folks. That's how they get people to believe and fall into the idolatry of these aforementioned people. That's how they get it to stick. Because no one's going to say, oh my goodness, it's all blah, blah, blah. They want you to just, identify with this one part. Okay, identify with this. Okay, this other stuff might be horsepucky, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's good too. So you got to get a spoonful of sugar to make that bull jive go down. You got to have these plants looking a little animalia, or else they're going to be clearly identified as plants, folks. I think that's what a lot of people are falling for, folks. You got to stop falling for the plants. And I'm not here to say I'm the demigod either. I'm not saying I got any answers. I'm just saying you got to identify the plants from the animals. That's kind of number one. I mean, I fall back on the biblical on this. You don't look to people. People aren't going to be your answer. If you do look to people, I would suggest that we do what the family unit did 100 plus years ago. Look at the family structure itself. I mean, before we had popular culture, before we were inundated with the Edward Bernays, oh, let's make a hero out of this star and that singer and that. Before all that bull job, it was the ancestors. It was the family unit. The mothers and the female children. You know, the young daughters would identify with the mom. They would, I would say lowercase I idolize the mom. That would give the young daughters the blueprint as to what you needed to be. You needed to be doing as a female. And likewise, you saw the same things with the sons and the fathers. The fathers would be that lowercase I for the sons. The sons would imprint from the father, okay, this is what I need to do. This is how I need to care for myself. This is how I need to care for my women. This is how I need to care for what have you. But we don't see that anymore. We've seen the degradation of the family. We've seen the extinction, the extinguishing of the American spirit. And we've seen that turn to idolatry. We've seen all that turn to let's idolize the sports star, let's idolize the movie star, and so forth and so on. That's kind of where we are today. That's why people, I believe, and I would submit to you, are falling for the plants. Got to identify the plants, folks. All right, I'm going to shut it up. I could keep talking for a long time. You can't do everything, but you can do something. Please get out there, do your part, make a difference, and I'll be seeing you sooner than later. And by that, I mean 11:30 Tuesday and Thursday live at theanomicage.com. Be safe out there, folks. I'll see you soon.
Thank you for listening to The Anomic Age, a John Age project. For past shows, further info, and to comment, go to anomicage.com. That's ANOMICAGE.com. Till next time, thank you for listening to The Anomic Age.
Thank you.